Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So heading into this weekend, the second weekend of Eldritch Moon Standard, the big question, at least as far as tournament level Magic was concerned, was, is there anything that can beat Bant Company? Bant Company jumped out the very first week of Eldritch Moon Standard, looked like it was clearly the best deck, had a huge percentage, put up the best results in the tournament, just dominated the first weekend. So everyone was a little like, maybe this is just going to be Bant Company again for the next few months and Standard's going to suck. But then, out of nowhere, a dark horse, a deck no one expected, a green-blue crush of Tentacles deck in the hands of Corey Dissinger crushed, literally, all of the Bant Company decks, cruising its way into the top 8 at this weekend's SCG Open in Baltimore. So congrats to Corey on his finish with the deck, and that's the deck we're breaking down today, a really just insane green-blue crush deck. A quick reminder before we break it all down, if you enjoy this deck and want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos for next week. Anyway, so green-blue crush, the idea of this deck is to get up to 10 mana, yes, 10 mana, and then loop Crush of Tentacles every single turn with Dem Protector. So you get to 10 mana, you play a face down Dem Protector for 3 mana, you Megamorph it up for 2 mana, so that's 5 mana, you get the Crush of Tentacles back from your graveyard to your hand, then you surge the Crush of Tentacles, bouncing your Dem Protector back to your hand, and giving you an 8/8 Octopus. You also bounce everything else on the battlefield, and that's how this deck generates advantage, is it has some cards that generate card advantage, and keep grinding out value as it goes through this process. So at 10 lands, you can just do this loop, and it kind of keeps the whole board at parity, because you're getting this octopus, your opponent's got to find a way to kill it, you get to do it all over again. But once you get to 11 mana, and 12 mana, and 15 mana, and so forth, you start to do other things as well, along with this loop, and that's how you actually grind out the value to win the game. So the deck isn't really a ramp deck. It wants to get to 10 mana, but to get there, it's kind of just playing Nissa's Pilgrimage and Blighted Woodlands, so not a lot of ramp, really, when you consider the goal is to get 10 lands on the battlefield, at least. Then, to grind out the value that we were talking about, you have cards like Oath of Nissa, Elvish Visionary, and Nissa Vastwood Seer. So, once you get up to 11 mana, you can not only do the Dem Protector Crush loop, but in between you can play an Oath of Nissa to find another creature. Of course, the Oath of Nissa will get bounced back to your hand, so you can do it again next turn. So every turn, you got kind of 3 pieces in this puzzle. The Oath of Nissa, the Dem Protector, getting back the Crush, cast the Cross Switch Surge, get the Octopus, bounce back the Dem Protector, and the Oath of Nissa. Once you get to 12 mana, you can do the same thing with Elvish Visionary, and all the way up at 13 mana, you can do it with Nissa, Vastwood Seer, who's getting you an extra land, so then you'll be up to 14 mana, because the deck plays 9 forests, so you have tons of targets for Nissa, and then when you're at 14, you can play the Nissa and the Oath of Nissa, and you can play the Nem Protector, and you can flip the Nem Protector to get back the Crush of Tentacles, to surge the Crush of Tentacles, to bounce everything back to your hand and do it all again. So that's kind of the idea of the deck, if that makes any amount of sense. The deck also, as this kind of secondary plan, as all this is going on, plays a sweet Traverse to Uvenwald package, so you can search up specific creatures. The only other 4 in the deck is Noose Constrictor. Blocks flyers, lets you get things in your graveyard, has some value. The rest of the cards are kind of targets for the Traverse to Uvenwald. Of course, you need Delirium active for Traverse. Noose Constrictor helps with that. And the deck has some more Delirium synergies as well, but you can get a Jace Vryn's Prodigy, you can get a Void Grafter to give something hexproof to like save your Dem Protector from removal. Bounding Crassus can tap something down. And then the Delirium package, you have a Hangerback Walker. This one is more to turn on Delirium, so you can cast it for 0. It immediately dies and gives you an artifact and a creature in your graveyard to turn on Delirium. Ishkana, if you get all the way up to 15 mana, you can Ishkana every turn. Make some spiders, eventually grind out the win with the alternate ability where you can pay 7 to drain your opponent equal to the spiders you control. And the real way the deck finishes the game is eventually, as all this is going on, the bouncing and looping and 8/8 Octopus tokens, you'll get your Emrakul the Promised End, steal your opponent's turn, and beat them down with a huge 13-13. The rest of the main deck, a couple of Kiora Master of Depths, grind out more value, turns on Delirium. Pulse of Maraza lets you get something back from your graveyard and gains you some life in a single Clash of Wills to kind of disrupt the opponent. As far as the mana base, you got Lumbering Falls, Yavimaya Coast, and Evolving Wilds' Duels, Forest Islands, and a single Rogue's Passage to make one of your creatures unblockable, like your Octopus, for example, to win the game. In the sideboard, Death Misraptor to come in alongside your Dem Protectors, grind out some value that way. Another Ishkana, a World Breaker to deal with non-creature permanents, also really hard to deal with because it keeps coming back from the graveyard. And some Gnarlwood Dryads to help against aggro. And then just a bunch of counter spells, Void Shatter, Negate, Clash of Wills, and a Summary Dismissal to deal with opposing Emrakuls and Ulamogs and Eldrazi's that have that trigger when cast ability. And then last but not least, a couple of Aerial Volleys. This card has gotten a lot better. It can kill a bunch of spirits, sometimes 2 spirits at once, but most importantly, it kills for 1 mana a Spell Queller to get back your Den Protector or whatever your opponent might have exiled with the Spell Queller. So that is the craziness of Green Blue Crush in Standard. Anyway, that's been our Instant Deck Tech for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.